We're here on IceTime.TV with Devils player coach Andrew Lord after a very impressive weekend, defeating the Sheffield Steelers on Friday night and the Braehead Clan tonight in Nice Arena, Wales. And Andrew, a big weekend. We talked about it in midweek. To get 4 points out of it, you've got to be very happy.
Yeah, it was good. I think we deserved it full-heartedly. Boys put the work in this week. You know, we had a lot of good, honest talks with each other, and everyone was on the same page this weekend. I loved our resiliency. Went into Sheffield. Wasn't the first period we wanted, but I thought it's one of those things where over 75 games, you're not always going to have your best. And I thought I did a lot of things right, and defensively we were good enough. I kind of related to maybe how Nottingham would play against us at times earlier in the season, where we got sticks on pucks, we blocked shots, Bouncy was big, and we really just gained momentum and got better and better as the game went along. The second was a bit better, still not great. We did a little juggling in the lines, which I think just helped us find a little bit of spark. We went back to kind of what we had done a few weeks prior that had really worked for us, and credit to the boys, they stayed positive throughout that game, and that third was a thing of beauty. We came just flying, and that's really Cardiff Devils hockey there. Thought we carried that into the first period tonight. Dipped a bit in the second, and then we had some big game players in the third.
I've got to take you back to that second intermission in Sheffield, because I think probably yourself and Jamie Elson deserve a little bit of credit there in terms of the line juggling. As you say, it'd been a good performance up until that point, but you hadn't put a goal on the board, and the Steelers were in front. You made the decision to have Asselin back on the first unit, maybe Doucette down on the third unit. Those were the lines that did so well during the streak. What were you thinking there, and is that something you'll run with now for a while?
Well, we'll see. We like to keep the guys accountable, but yeah, we had a good, honest talk. I think Jamie and I have a real good feel for each other. It's funny, sometimes we almost look at each other and we already know before we say what we're going to say that we're thinking the same thing. We both had a little idea on two different switches there. We went with it, again, that's a small thing. I think it was more the guys just turned it up. I thought Almer and Bentivolio were huge on that first goal. Their forecheck was amazing. Then they banged away at it, and Benty's backhand there really got the guys energized. And it's funny. I can't even really describe it in words. Just sometimes when you're having a little bit of a lull for a couple games, it can just be one or two things that just get the guys going. And we were right back to our game, and yeah, it was really fun.
Tonight against the Braehead Clan, they put out a real sort of character display with no little skill, but I think with their backup netminder in commentary, we said that they were collapsing a little low, protecting the house. You were finding it hard to maybe get shots through to the net. There was a lot of good build-up play, a lot of good puck possession, but maybe just struggling initially to get pucks on net.
Yeah, I felt we let them off the hook for how well we played. The first was great. We were in on the forecheck, tons of puck possession, tons of chances. I felt we didn't pull the trigger enough. We sort of slipped back into a little bit of maybe because we did have a bit of time and space to being a little too cute. The problem is you just let the goalie set. You let the defenseman get back in a position when you take your time like that. And we addressed that in the first, and I thought we did a little better job of that in the second and third. But I thought he played well. I thought he was big. I thought he looked very calm and collected. He didn't look like a backup to me at all. Credit to him. And I think the other reason we let them off the hook was the power play, obviously. Just the execution just wasn't there tonight.
Can I ask you, and I know we talk about him a lot, but can I ask you about Chris Culligan, only because you brought him up last week about how he'd had that very quick transition from defence back to forward. Of course, with the Mark Lewis injury this weekend, he's gone back to defence. He really is a swing guy that you can just count on.
Yeah, I think I actually watched one of your interviews last week. You asked someone about the same question, and whoever it was, I can't remember who, their words were bang on. It's unbelievable, really, at this level of hockey, professional hockey, where a guy can go back, not, week to week, literally day to day. Literally, even, this week early on, we have him penciled in as a forward. Lou, we figure out that he can't go, and boom, right back up front, and doesn't miss a step. And he's just, his mental side of the game, the way he reads the game is absolutely incredible, and his skill set's no slouch either.
If I can ask you about Guy Doucette and Scott Hoffman. First of all, Guy Doucette, it's probably not a bad thing. We said in commentary, maybe he played with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder tonight because he had to drop back down the lines, and he's a guy who wants to have ice time and score goals, and he seemed to respond tonight, playing on that third unit. Of course, he'll do anything for the team, but he played a little angry tonight, and he got two big goals.
Yeah, I don't know if it was anger. I think he's just such a more well-rounded player now. He's just everywhere, and you keep referring to that line as a third line. I don't know if it is.
Well,
I really don't know if it is. Matthew Myers with a whole bunch of championships. I don't know if you want to tell Joe Haddad he's on the third line.
I'm a simple man. I just need I need the
but,
logic.
They're great. It's a real dynamic. I think Mizey's back to being Matthew Myers right now. He's a bull in a china shop, getting to the net, working hard, winning his face-offs, and he's such a dynamic player for us when he's playing that way. Joe Haddad's game is coming on leaps and bounds, and you're right, Guillaume Doucette there. You know, that last goal there, he created all on his own. He took a guy into the corner, spun off, and brought it right to the net, and then a beautiful finish.
And Scott Hotham just must be great to have him back in the lineup. His lead pass is beautiful. His power play, although he didn't score tonight, he quarterbacks that so well, and he just seems to bring a calmness, a veteran presence. Yeah,
you're bang on. I think it was perfect timing. For whatever reason, we just, maybe it's my fault, you know, in practice, not harping on it enough. We just weren't moving the puck quickly enough the last couple weeks through the defensive zone or out of the defensive zone through the neutral zone. And, you know, Scotty's probably arguably our best defenseman at that. So getting him back into the mix to do that really just gives a great example to the other 6, I guess it is. And yeah, it's good.
And as a guy who likes physical hockey, but also as a hockey fan, can I ask you to comment on that hit?
Which one? Oh, it was nice. Yeah, it was good. I thought, you know, they were taking it to us a little bit physically. You know, it was sort of prison rules out there a little bit at times, the clutching, grabbing, and unfortunately, you know, we couldn't make them pay on the power play tonight. Any other night we normally do, and what do we got here?
Sean Benevolio.
Oh,
hey, look at that. Look what people do for charity. Looking good, Sean.
Doesn't get much creepier than that.
Yeah. You're next, though, aren't you?
I got to play with that guy.
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
that was a nice hit.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that on tape when we recruited him. He's sneaky like that. He usually finishes checks more as a defensive, you know, thing to just separate man from puck. But that was a '90s open ice hit for sure, Scott Stevens style.
And just finally, I know we'll cover this more in our midweek interviews, but the weekends don't get any easier. Next week against the Coventry Blaze, they've gone bottom of the table tonight. They're going to be a wounded animal and come out and challenge you. And of course, Sheffield Steelers at home on the Sunday. They were so impressive last time out in Ice Arena, Wales. Yeah, it's always tough. Coventry always plays us hard. They got a real hard-working group. I think they've added some speed, some skill, and you know they haven't even had. They probably had one practice, if that, with those 2 new guys. So I'm sure after a full week here, they'll be back to themselves and. You know, then Sheffield at home. Yeah. What else? There's not much else you can say. It'll be another war, and get your tickets. I think that's going to be sold out here any day. Absolutely, get your tickets. If you don't get your ticket, you can watch it on IceTime.TV. But for Andrew, for the moment, go and enjoy your Sunday night. I will. Thanks.